on radio, Ihsaan 87.7 FM, and you are listening to the Highway to Heaven show. Today we've got another jam-packed, fun-packed, action-packed, marvelicious, fabulicious show for you today. As always, we do go to great lengths to make this program as enjoyable and as beneficial and as enlightening as possible, and that's because you listeners do deserve the best. So we've got a mashallah very jam-packed program for you today, filled with loads and loads of things. We've got the daily dua coming up. Remember, we've been learning a dua every day, almost every day, so we'll be revising duas from previous days, and inshallah we'll be learning a new dua today. I hope you've learnt yesterday's dua, and I hope we've started implementing it as well. Also coming up in today's program, I've got riddles for you, I've got jokes for you, I'm going to give people shout outs. So if you would like me to give you a mention, or somebody from your family a mention, friends of family a mention, then please do text in. You know our number, 07417498681, 07417498681, and I shall be reading those out nearer the end of the program, inshallah. So you've got time to text in with your requests. Also, we've got today's Kazee's conundrums coming up, and I will be giving you the answers to yesterday's Kazee's conundrum, yesterday's questions. I posed 10 questions. I think we only got a correct answer for one of the questions, so I will be repeating the questions again. If you do know the answer to any of those questions, then do grab a pen and write this number down, and do text me before I read out the answers. Today's the questions, new questions will be coming up later on in the program. If you do want to text with the correct answer, then it's 07417498681. Also, I'll be reading out a poem, and then we've got our regular main feature, the Dini dialect, in which we will be inshallah speaking about a certain aspect of Deen in order to inshallah enlighten ourselves and progress in terms of Deen. So that and lots more coming up. So dear respected listeners, please don't go away, please do keep listening and get others tuned in also, so that we can all benefit and we can all move together, and we can all continue on the path to paradise, on the highway to heaven. Allah Ta'ala give us all the tawfiq, inshallah. So all that coming up. You can text me again. The number is 07417498681. If you know the answers to any of yesterday's questions, then that is the number. And if you want me to give somebody or give yourselves a shout out, a mention, then that is the number to ring us on. That number one last time, if you've not written it down, 07417498681. But first, as promised last week, I'm going to play you a little clip of a bayan from the 80s in which Molana Sahab speaks about Jannat. This is only about a 2-minute clip, so have a listen and enjoy, and let's absorb ourselves in thoughts of paradise, and let's motivate ourselves to achieve paradise, inshallah ta'ala. Apologies for that, dear listeners. We got gremlins in the system. That's the second time that's happened to me. That's a bit weird. Apologies. So instead I'll give you another clip, which is not by Muhammad himself, but it is a clip about Jannat. This one's in English, so those of you who are disappointed with the Urdu clip, here's an English clip. Here we're talking about Jannat again. Yes, dear listeners, that was a short clip about Jannat. Now, the other day I gave a bayan in the ladies, and our elders, they say, the advisors, our ustads, our teachers, the advisors, when you deliver a lecture in women, then you should not talk about the hurs of Jannat. The reason why you should talk about Jannat, and you should talk about paradise, but you shouldn't talk about the hurs of Jannat. And the reason for that is because our men, wrongly, whenever they get into an argument with their wives, then they always, the ace card is always that a man says that, okay, you can give me as grief or you can give me as much grief as you want, I don't really care, because I'm going to die and I'm going to go into my Jannah, I'm going to find my hoor, and then I'm not going to even look at you, and nobody's even going to be bothered about you. So the women have a kind of a dislike for hoors, because that's a trump card that the men use, and it's wrong for men to do that. So the women, our elders always say that whenever you deliver a lecture in the women, then you shouldn't talk about hoors, because women get upset. But whenever I deliver a lecture in the women, like I did on Sunday, then I like to speak about hoors, and the women do get upset. But then I said to the sisters, I said, sisters, hear me out, don't get upset. I'm describing the hoors, that if one hoor of Jannat was to spit into the oceans of this world, then her spit would make all of the oceans, all of the salty water of all of the oceans of the whole world sweet. Allahu Akbar. If we got all the sugar and all this honey of the world and put it into the oceans of the world, dear respected listeners, we would be unable to make all the water sweet. And yet, one spit from one woman of Jannat is enough to make the whole world's water sweet. And if she was to dangle her hair from the skies, then her hair would make the whole world shine and would make the whole world fragrant. And if she was to enter her fingertip into this world from the skies, then her fingertip would outshine the sun. So now sisters start getting angry. Why is he talking about hoors in front of us? So then I say to the sisters, please don't be angry. Let me tell you another hadith. Another hadith, Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam says that a mu'mina, a human being, a lady, a mu'mina, who is a human, who lived in this world and thereby worked hard to achieve paradise, and due to her good deeds she managed to secure paradise for herself, she is far superior to any of the hoors of Jannat, and all of the damsels of Jannat can never vie with her. She is far superior than all of them. Why? Because the hoors, they never disobeyed Allah, because they were created in paradise and they lived in paradise, and they were never commanded by Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala to worship Him. Whereas the human, the lady, the woman, the young girl, she came into this world, she had to go through toil and hardships and tribulations. She had to work hard in order to acquire the love of Allah and the pleasure of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Therefore, when the mu'mina, when a believing woman, lady, sister, young girl dies, she will be entered into paradise, and then she will be given beauty beyond compare. She will be made 70,000 times more beautiful than the hoors and the damsels that I've just described briefly. All the hoors of Jannah that have been described in the hadith, the mu'mina will be 70,000 times more beautiful than all of them, and she will be made the queen of all the hoors. So what's that brother saying? What's he talking about when he says that I'm not even going to look at you there? You'll have eyes for no one else but her, brother. Because she's going to be the queen of all the hoors. She's going to be the most beautiful. So dear respected brothers and sisters, dear respected listeners, these ni'mas are in store for us. These bounties are in store for us human beings, providing we live a good, clean life and we please our Allah. Allah Ta'ala give me and all of us the tawfiq and the ability, inshallah ta'ala. So I'm going to come back to the Dini. That wasn't part of the Dini dialect, but our Dini dialect is the main feature of our program. I'm going to come to that later on. But for now, what I'm going to do is I'm going to give you the questions from yesterday's Kazee conundrum, in the hope that inshallah people will text in with the correct answer. Our number once again is 07 417 498 681. Listen to the questions. If you know the answers to any of them, then send me a text, write Q 1, 2, 3, whatever question you're answering. Give me the answer and give me your name, please. So yesterday's questions are these. Question number 1. In which year of the Hijrah of the Islamic calendar were the Muslims ordered by Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala to start fasting in the month of Ramadan? In other words, in which month did, or in which year did the rosas, the fasts of Ramadan, become incumbent and farz upon the Muslims? What year was that? It's question number 1. If you know the answer, 07 417 498 681. Question number 2. Who amongst the wives of Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam, the mothers of the believers, the Ummahatul Mu'mineen, which one of them was nicknamed Ummul Masakin, and why? Why was she called Ummul Masakin, and what was her real name? Question number 3. Who was the first wife of the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam? And if you're over 17 or so, I want the full answer. I want her surname as well, as the second part of her name. Question number 4. When and where did Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala order his Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam to change the Qibla from Jerusalem to Mecca? When did it take place? As in what year? And where did it take place? Where did that command come down? Question number 5. How many children did the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam have? What were their names? Okay. Question number 6. Who is a muazzin? And mashallah, brother Ahmad Patel, Allah Ta'ala bless you. Fantastic. Yesterday you gave the answer. For question number 6, a muazzin is a person who calls out the the azan for the congregational prayers. Mashallah. So we'll leave out number 6. Number 7. Question number 7. In regard to salat, if I'm talking about my namaz and I mentioned the sutra, what am I talking about? Not satar, but sutra. What are we saying when we're talking about sutra? What is a sutra? A sutra. Okay. Question number 8. Who was called the Sword of Allah? Who was called the Sword of Allah? His title was the Sword of Allah. What was his real name? Question number 9. In which surah of the Quran does Allah Ta'ala tell us that there's a night in the month of Ramadan, and that night is better than 1,000 months? Which surah is it in the Quran that mentions that? Okay, and lastly, question number 10. What should a fasting person say when he gets hassled and harassed by somebody else? What should he say? Not what should he do? You shouldn't knock him out. What should he say to him? What should he say to him? Prophet ﷺ has instructed us in the hadith that if somebody starts wrangling with you, somebody starts bugging you, doing your head in, arguing with you, then there's an answer that you can give. What's the answer? It doesn't have to be in Arabic, you can tell me in English. Those are the 10 questions from yesterday, folks. 1 has been answered, so we've got 9 standing, 9 left. If you know the answer to any of them, send me a text, write Q and whatever question you're answering and the correct answer, and please do remember to leave your name. The number is 07 417 498 681. 07 417 498 681. Bless. Yesterday a little boy came up to me and said, you know, I knew some of the answers, but you said the number too quickly. That's why I'm repeating the answer, the number today a lot. So apologies for that, okay? So I hope you all got the number. 07 417 498 681 is the number to text if you know the answer to any of the answers to any of those questions. And whilst we're at it, I'll give you today's Kazee's conundrum as well. I'll give you more questions. Okay, so we're moving on to question number 11, sorry. Question number 11, if you know the answer, text me Q11, write the answer, write your name. How many rakats are there in the Eid prayer? Come on, that's an easy one. Question number 12, and that's for the kiddies. So if you're an adult, you can't answer question number 11. Question number 12 is for kiddies as well. Who was the first female martyr, shahida in Islam? Who was the first female shaheed, person to die in Islam? Who was the first female martyr in Islam? Okay. Question number 13. In what direction did the Prophet ﷺ face during the prayer while he was in Mecca, before the Hijrah? You should know the answer to that because it's kind of already been answered in one of the previous questions. When Prophet ﷺ was in Mecca, before he migrated to Medina, which direction was Prophet ﷺ praying in? What was he facing? Okay. Question number 14. That's for kiddies as well, by the way. Question number 13. Come on, you adults, you've got to give you harder ones than that. Okay, question number 14, I think the adults can answer this one. Possibly the kiddies as well, mashallah. Who was called Tahira amongst the mothers of the believers? From the wives of Prophet ﷺ, there was a woman, a lady whose name was Tahira, whose title was Tahira. Who is she? What's her real name? Tahira. Okay. Question number 15 is, what do you understand by the term fidya? If I say, oh, I'm going to give my fidya now. Fidya, what is a fidya? What do you understand by that term? Fidya, that's for adults as well, I think. Question number 16. Where did the Prophet ﷺ consummate his marriage with Aisha radiallahu ta'ala anha, and when? Prophet ﷺ got married to Hazrat Aisha radiallahu ta'ala anha in Makkah, but he didn't start living with her till later on. So when did he start living with her, and in what month? And I've kind of given the answer away there as well. So question number 17, the Prophet ﷺ prayed to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala to strengthen Islam by whose conversion? Who did he say, oh Allah, make Islam stronger by such and such becoming a Muslim? Who was that person who Rasulullah ﷺ prayed for? Or who were those people? Possibly, maybe there's more than one. Who are the people for whom Prophet ﷺ prayed that Allah strengthen Islam through their conversion, make them Muslims and make Islam strong through them or through him? Or her even. Question number 18. When the Prophet ﷺ married Kazee radiallahu ta'ala, how old was he and how old was she? That's an easy one. Okay. How old was Prophet ﷺ when he married Kazee radiallahu ta'ala anha, and how old was Khadija radiallahu ta'ala anha at the time of their marriage? And question number 19. Which prayer does Salatul Jummah replace? Such an easy one. Come on, open nets folks, a giveaway. That's an easy one. When we say Salatul Jummah, which namaz is Salatul Jummah replacing? Okay. And lastly, question number 20. What important event took place in the 8th year of Hijrah? 8th year after the migration, what important event took place? Okay, so I've given you 20 questions now. One's been answered. We've got 19 still standing. If you know the answer to any of those, then please do text in and you'll win a prize. If you answer correctly, Ahmed Patel from yesterday, you're very, very welcome to come down to the studio, pick up your prize. Just come in, say, I'm Ahmed Patel, give me my prize, and they'll give you a prize. They'll give you your prize, inshallah. Is that alright, Molana? Azir Rahman Sahib? Anything you want. He said, anything you want, so just grab his computer and walk off. 07, sorry. Folks, 07 417 498 681, 07 417 498 681, and please don't walk off with his computer when you do come in. There's a range of fabulous prizes to be picked up. If you can give me a correct answer, that's the number. These are the questions. Right, Q, whatever the question number is, with the answer, with your name, and inshallah I will read those out later on. Jazakumullah for that. I'll now take a short break and inshallah I'll come back very shortly with more and more to share and more to learn and inshallah more to enjoy, I hope. So here we go. This is a nice nazam, an old one. You're going to love this, folks. Inshallah, have a listen. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh, dear listeners. Welcome back. That was a fantastic nazam. Maybe some of you do recognize the elder who prayed that nazam, mashallah, fantastic stuff. He says in there, "Do alam hai ek lafz kun ka tamasha." The whole world has come into existence from one word, one command of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, kun. That's all Allah ta'ala said. In fact, he didn't even need to say that and the whole world came into existence. So he says, "Ye alam hai lafz kun ka tamasha." The whole world has come into existence just through kun. This is how powerful, how mighty our Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is. So mashallah, texts are coming in with the answers for today's and yesterday's Kazee Conundrum. Please do keep those texts coming in if you know the answers to any other questions, or if you would like me to repeat any of those questions. The number is 07417 498 681, 07417 498 681. Now, moving on to today's daily dua. Some people who just joined us recently have been complaining that the dua, you don't give us a chance to write it down. So the listeners, our old listeners will know that we did clarify right at the beginning when I first started giving you duas. I did investigate other avenues of getting the du'as out to our listeners. We did try it on Twitter, etc., but we were limited to the number of letters we can write, etc. So we realized that it's just not feasible. So then I did say that either I can completely abandon the whole dua idea, or I can give you the dua slowly on air, and then you can record it. You can make your own means and secure the dua for yourself, and then write it down in your own time and transliterate it. That is what conclusion we came to. So again, those of you who have just tuned in recently, I did make myself clear there, and I'm sorry, there is no other way of getting the dua out to you. Yes, people do say please get Molana to write it down. Okay, those are things that inshallah in the future we will be doing, but at the moment Molana is just snowballed and piles of paper, not literally, and he's got a lot on his plate, mashallah. He's very, very busy, so it will take time. It will be done inshallah, and it will, but please don't rush us. And you know, it could happen by the time the duas are produced and they get to us, then we've lost interest. So it is not Molana's fault if it's not my fault. We should blame ourselves. Look at the story that I said. Let's seize the opportunity. You know, the story that I said about the dua, tawakkaltu ala al-hayy alladhi la yamut. What did Abu Hurairah radiyallahu ta'ala say? And what did he do? His action is a great lesson for us. He didn't say and he didn't do what we do. That okay, I'm with Prophet ﷺ all the time anyway, I'll ask him afterwards. I'll ask him to write it down. I'll learn it afterwards. He didn't think like that. The Sahaba Kiram did not think like that. They knew that death is just around the corner. Anything could happen at any time. This here now is the opportunity. So Abu Hurairah radiyallahu ta'ala, even though the dua was not directed at him, he there and then memorized the dua. Allahu Akbar. So this is a great lesson for us. I speak from experience, folks. I've given this dua and many other duas to many people, and a few weeks later, a few months, few years later, they come back and say, can you write it down for me? I know you wrote it down for me, but you know, it went in the wash, or I've lost that piece of paper, or I didn't get to learn it. And so this is what happens when, unfortunately, we don't seize the opportunity. So folks, this is why I'm giving the dua out on air, and this is why I'm learning these duas, and I'm encouraging our listeners to learn it here and now. Okay, so I recite the dua slowly a few times, we record it. Soon as we get an opportunity, let's sit down, let's transliterate it, let's write it ourselves, and let's learn it ourselves. Because let's not get the Mauli Sahib to write it down. Mauli Sahib writes it down, Mauli Sahib goes through all the effort, it doesn't mean anything to us, it's just a piece of paper then. But when we go to the effort of writing it down, then we're going to go to the effort of learning it as well. It's going to be of some value to us. So I did clarify all of that right at the beginning a few weeks ago when I first started giving duas. This is just for the benefit of those of us who've just recently tuned in and have complained that the dua is going too fast, etc., etc., or the duas are too long. Come on folks, this is our last full week of full broadcasting. Next Tuesday or Wednesday we're going off air, so we can't be spending our time learning and revising duas that we've already learned before many years ago, or learning short duas. These are amazing duas, and usually for a dua to be more beneficial, it might be a bit longer than we like, but let's not let that put us off. So yesterday's dua, I'm hoping that people have memorized. The other day a sister did phone me and she went over one of the duas with me, so I'm hoping there are people out there, mashallah, learning the duas. If nobody's learning them, which I doubt is the case, I'm learning the duas, so alhamdulillah I am benefiting anyway, and the angels are listening, and Allah Ta'ala is listening, and we're getting sawab. I'm getting the sawab anyway. So yesterday's dua, if you've learnt it, then recite with me after 3. 1, 2, 3. Allahumma ahsin aqibatana fil umuri kulliha wa ajirna min khizyi dunya wa adabil akhirah. If you missed that dua yesterday, I've just recited it slowly. I hope you recorded it. If you didn't, get your recorders ready. I'll recite it again after a while. Okay? Get your recorders ready, folks. Here comes today's dua. Today's dua, remember yesterday's dua is to be saved in order to be saved from trials and tribulations. Today's dua is to be saved from it's a similar dua, is to be saved from narrowness and adversities in this world and the hereafter. Allahu Akbar. This is a dua that Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam used to recite in his duas, along with all his other duas, Rabbana atina, Allahumma ighfir lana, etc. He used to also recite this dua, so we should also inculcate this into our duas also. Because dua, the prayers, are a weapon. Prophet ﷺ says, "Ad-du'a silahul mu'min," that the dua is the weapon of a mu'min. These are our tools, these are our gadgets, this is how we find our way in life, this is how we remove our difficulties. This is a great weapon for us. So we should hold fast to this weapon and use it. This is our connection with Allah. And so once we were out in the path of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, and one alim, one Molana was spending 1 year in the path of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, mashallah, as many of our scholars do. Allahu Akbar, Allah ta'ala reward them. What huge sacrifice away from their wife and kids and mother, father, etc. for a whole year away from their environment. And this Molana, somebody, he went for a bath. When he went for a bath, he left his kurta, his clothing, with somebody. He said, my money's in there, so look after that so it doesn't get stolen. So the brother who he left it with, he took out his notebook, the Molly Sub's notebook, from his pocket, which he shouldn't have done, and then he started flicking through it. It was a diary, and then he showed the other companion and said, oh, look at this, Maulana, every day he's adding up how many minutes of dua he is doing. So they flicked back to a month ago, and it was like something like 40, 41, 42, 45, like that. And then this month it was like 55, some days it was like 1 hour 10, some days it was like 1.5 hours, some days it dropped a bit, 40, so like that. So Maulana was keeping a track, and he was adding it up, 5 minutes here, 10 minutes, 15 minutes, half an hour, like that. And he was adding it up and trying to increase in his, in the amount of dua that he is doing every day. So this is what we should be doing. This is our way of connecting with Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. It's written about one sage, one buzurg, one elder, that he used to make dua, he used to pray collectively, altogether, he used to pray and make dua for 8 hours every day. Allahu Akbar. 8 hours, 1/3 of the day was spent in dua. That's not just in one shot, that's in bits. It's said about one of our elders, Molana Ihsaan rahmatullahi, that when he went for Hajj, he was on the multazim, and he went on the multazam, and then he's holding the gilaf, the shroud of the covering of the Kaaba, and Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam, and that spot, the multazam, is between the Hajr Aswad and the door of Kaaba. That's a special spot where Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam, even himself, he pressed his breast against the wall of Kaaba, and he spread his arms against the wall of Kaaba, and then he made dua. So that's one of the spots. Multazam is one of the spots where, one of the special places where dua is accepted. So it said about Molana Ihsaan, people observed him that he went there and he pressed himself against the multazam, and he stood there for over 3 hours and he made dua. Allahu Akbar. Allahu Akbar. 3 hours. And we'd get bored in 10 minutes because we don't know what to ask for, because we don't have a store of duas. And our elders, our scholars, our pious predecessors and present ulama kiram, they have a huge vast treasure of du'as which they've learnt and they've received from Prophet ﷺ, and all of us have received them, but we can't be bothered to learn them. And so when they make dua, they don't just say Rabbi shrah li sadri, Rabbana atina. They inculcate all the du'as, or as many du'as of Rasulullah ﷺ into their du'as. So imagine the power of their du'as, imagine the connection that one will get with Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala by reciting all these du'as. So inshallah, we're trying to build a store of du'as, that's what we're trying to do. And that's why we're on this journey together, on the highway to heaven. And inshallah, if we keep on increasing our du'as in this way, then we will definitely be on the highway to heaven, and we will reach our destination, which is Jannah, which is heaven. So therefore, brothers and sisters, don't be put off with these du'as, don't think, oh, here we go again, too long. But let's inspire ourselves, let's encourage each other. Today I have picked an easy dua, a short dua, but tomorrow's is going to be, inshallah, a nice long one. So today's dua is to be, in order to be saved from the narrowness of and the adversities of this world and the hereafter. And this dua can be inculcated in our duas after salat, after namaz, etc. The dua goes like this. I'll recite it slowly 3 times inshallah. So press record now. Allahumma inni a'udhu bika min dhiqi dunya wa dhiqi yawmil qiyamah. Again. Allahumma inni a'udhu bika min dhiqi dunya wa dhiqi yawmil qiyamah. It's a very, very easy dua to learn, because the only new word probably in that dua is dhiq, and it comes twice. Allahumma inni a'udhu bika, we know anyway. Min dhiqi dunya. Dunya we know as well. Dhiq's a new word. Wa dhiqi, a new word, which has just been repeated. Yawmil qiyamah we know as well. The day of judgment. Allahumma inni a'udhu bika min dhiqi dunya wa dhiqi yawmil qiyamah. Okay, one last time slowly. Allahumma inni a'udhu bika min dhiqi dunya wa dhiqi yawmil qiyamah. Oh Allah, save me from the narrowness of this world. And subhanallah, Prophet ﷺ's du'as were so concise and yet so meaningful, and it's like an ocean in one word. Dhiqi dunya, the narrowness of the dunya, everything comes under that. Any kind of adversity, debts, illnesses, divorces, arguments, separations, everything comes under that. So in actual fact, we're praying to be saved from all kinds of adversities in the dunya, in this world, وَذِيقِ يَوْمِ الْقِيَامَةِ, and all kinds of narrowness, adversities, trials, tribulations in the hereafter as well, on the day of judgment. Yawm al-Qiyamah, on the day of judgment. Subhanallah. What a dua. Allahumma inni a'udhu bika min dhiqi dunya wa dhiqi yawm al-Qiyamah. Short, concise, lucid, and yet so meaningful and such a beneficial dua. Let's learn it, let's pass it on, let's inculcate it in our duas. Allahumma inni a'udhu bika min dhiqi dunya wa dhiqi yawm al-Qiyamah. Allahumma inni a'udhu bika min dhiqi dunya wa dhiqi yawm al-Qiyamah. Allahumma inni a'udhu bika min dhiqi dunya wa dhiqi yawm al-Qiyamah. Okay, and yesterday's dua, one last time. If you didn't get it, here we go. Allahumma ahsin aqibatana fil umuri kulliha wa ajirna min khizi dunya wa adhabil akhirah. Even if one person out there learns this dua, it's enough for, inshallah, for it'll make my whole time here worthwhile, and it'll make all the efforts worthwhile, brothers and sisters. So let's do the right thing. Let's learn it. Let's spread it. Let others know. What a fantastic dua. Prophet, I'm not giving you this dua. I am not giving you this dua. Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam has given us this dua. The Sahaba Kiram have given us this dua. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala has given us this dua. Allahu Akbar. And yet we miss out on these opportunities, such beautiful duas, this and thousands like it. So let's make a now resolution. Muslim doesn't make a New Year's resolution. Muslim makes a resolution every day of his or her life. Every morning we get up, we make resolution. Today I'm going to be a better person. I'm going to be a better Muslim. I'm going to do something dynamic. I'm going to learn something. I'm going to spread some happiness. I'm going to spread some joy. I'm going to spread some comfort. I'm going to make people's lives better. That's what a Muslim's about. So we're supposed to be making resolutions every day, every moment. So let's make a resolution now, brothers and sisters, that we're going to learn a dua a day and light the way. We're going to learn a dua a day, and every day we're going to light the way for ourselves. We're going to light the way to paradise. We're going to be on the highway to heaven every day. After next week, this highway to heaven show goes off air, but we're going to stay on the highway to heaven, inshallah ta'ala, till we die, inshallah. Let's make intentions now, brothers and sisters, and little sons and daughters and brothers and sisters listening. Let's make intention now, inshallah. We're going to stay on the highway to heaven, the path to paradise, till the day we die, inshallah, by spreading happiness, being better citizens, being better slaves of Allah, being better siblings, being better sons and daughters for our parents, being better spouses for our partners, being better human beings for the whole of mankind, being better ummati of Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam. Let's spread the goodness, let's spread the joy, brothers and sisters. Let's do the right thing. Inshallah, I'll be back after this nasheed. Please don't go away. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. Dear listeners, welcome back. The texts have been rolling in fast, and mashallah, we've got a lot of text to read out. Let me go over some of these texts, inshallah. Starting with this brother Ayub. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. Wa alaikum assalam wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. The brother Ayub. Please could you give a shout out to my loving parents and my brothers and sisters. They are my inspiration to the one and only path of deen. MashaAllah, Jazakumullah, Ayub Mugradia. Assalamu alaikum to Ayub's parents and brothers and sisters. MashaAllah, what a warm text, what a fantastic text. May Allah Ta'ala keep you and your whole family happy always and prosperous and progressing in deen. Ameen. Somebody else texting, doesn't leave a name, but quite a strong text. Salams. Since radio started, I have not listened to any songs. MashaAllah, brother or sister. MashaAllah, fantastic. If you don't try your best to carry on, I presume carry on the radio station, and I go back to songs, I will grab your management by the neck on the day of judgment. Okay. Dear brother or sister, strong words from you. I think it's a hope and wish and desire of every single person who's listened to Radio Ihsaan that Radio Ihsaan should continue. However, I'm sure you'll agree that Radio Ihsaan isn't just a formality. It shouldn't just be there for the sake of being there. It's got to be done properly, and otherwise people will very soon lose interest, and I think it might become a bit of a gimmick. Therefore, in order, a Muslim's mentality should always be that if you're going to do something, let's do it right. And so, mashallah, this whole month has been a fantastic month for us Boltoners, because Radio Ihsaan has been fantastic, but it's not been easy. I mean, I only come in for an hour or so, and that's it, I'm gone. But you know, the likes of Molana, Azir Rahman Sahab, Molana Najib Sahab, etc., they're 24/7. They're listening. Even I think even in their sleep they listen, because even when they've put on a track, if the CD gets stuck or something, I think even in the middle of the night they come down and they sort it out. And during the day they hear it all the time. Molana Najib Sahab has come up from Bristol. He's living in a hotel, I think, and you know, massive sacrifices. So it's not an easy thing, and mashallah, we respect the fact that you would, and you're not the only one when you say that you'd like it to continue. I, for one, would definitely, but my contention is that it has to be quality radio, and for that, there's got to be an input from the right kind of people, not just anyone who's got a passion for it, but there's got to have the right kind of people, qualified people, presenters, editors, journalists, etc. And so it will take time, and inshallah with your du'as it will happen. But brother or sister, don't blame your listening to music on the management of the radio station, because I think they'll be grabbing you back on the day of judgment. That's a feeble excuse. Okay, mashallah, we respect, and mashallah, all praise to you, mashallah, big up to you, mashallah, that you've stopped listening to music. But please, brother or sister, carry on, inshallah. There's a lot of things, you know, even if radio's not on, there is the Radio Ihsaan will still be, inshallah, on. It'll be on the internet. It won't be on your radio station. And there's Radio Islam from South Africa that you can listen to. There are bayans, all sorts of things out there to stop us from listening to music. And as I said, and I've said, and I think it's been the theme of all my bayans, it's all about willpower and the strength of iman and yaqeen. I think that's been the underlying theme in all our Dini dialects since day one, and will continue. That it's got to be an inner motivation and an inner strength, and that only comes from a person making effort on their iman. So Jazakallah for that, brother or sister, but please don't go back to music, because you'll land yourself in trouble. But inshallah, continue to pray that this does, and I'm praying as well, we should all pray that it becomes a permanent thing. Next we have salams to all listeners. This is from an anonymous texter. Salams to all listeners. Pray and make dua for my dad that he recovers from an eye pressure operation which is high due to cataract overripe. Once eye pressure lowered, they can remove the cataract. Allahu Akbar. Okay. I had a bit of difficulty reading that because it was written in text lingo. But yeah, brother or sister, mashallah, may Allah Ta'ala grant your father a speedy recovery. May Allah Ta'ala restore his eyesight in both his eyes. And may Allah Subhanahu Wa Ta'ala give him shifa. And may Allah Ta'ala bless you and your whole family. And may Allah Ta'ala grant shifa to all Muslims and non-Muslims who are ill and who are suffering at this time. Ameen. Make dua for Jaldi Jald Shifa applies to all patients. Ameen. Somebody else texts in without a name. Question number 8, they say, is Khalid bin Walid. Sorry, let me just refer back to the questions there. Question number 8, the texter says, the answer is Khalid bin Walid. Is it? Question number 8, just flicking back in my file, and I can't find it. Question number 8, yes, that is the correct answer. Whoever you are. Question number 8, the question was, who was Khalid bin Walid, whose title was the sword of Allah? The sword of Allah is, of course, Khalid bin Walid, the sword of Allah. Jazakumullah, brother or sister. Please do come down to the studio and pick up your good deed, inshallah. Good answer. Question number 9, somebody else, question number 19 is Zohar. Again, the person doesn't leave there. Why do people do that? Why are you so shy, people? Come on. Shouldn't be so shy. I should be shy. The question was, which prayer does Salatul Jummah replace? And the answer is Zohar. MashaAllah. True. In place of Zohar on Friday, we pray Salatul Jummah. Providing we're in congregation, men will pray Salatul Jummah and ladies will pray Jummah namaz. Or if a person's traveling, they will still pray the Zohar namaz instead of Jummah namaz. Did I say ladies pray Jummah namaz? They don't. They pray Zohar namaz. Unless they join a Jamaat, in which case they can pray Jummah namaz. Sorry, I'm rambling. Question number 17, somebody says. Question number 17, right. The question was, the Messenger sallallahu alaihi wasallam prayed to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala to strengthen Islam by whose conversion? So the answer here, and again the text said does not leave their name. Come on, shy people, start giving your names. Umar bin Khattab and Abu Jahl. Umar bin Khattab radiyallahu ta'ala and Abu Jahl. True. Good answer, brother or sister or jinn or whoever you are. And then somebody texts in and says Amina. Okay, that doesn't mean anything to me. Can you please repeat D again? I'm driving. Okay, repeat the dua again. Okay, people, you people put me to a lot of trouble, huh? But hey, I don't mind. I'm not whinging. For you brothers and sisters, it's all worth it. And due to that, let me prove what I just said there. That yeah, it's all worth it for you brothers and sisters. I'll do it. Proof of that is, inshallah, I'm coming on tonight. And my one fan out there just went, yay! And the rest of you went, oh, roll the eyes. Fortunately or unfortunately, however you see it, I am coming on tonight to terrorize you. Again, 8 p.m. inshallah. The second installment of today's Highway to Heaven, inshallah. Today is a special treat or a special torment, depending on how you see it. Tonight I will be on soon after 8 p.m. Not definitely 8 p.m. but soon after 8 p.m. inshallah. I'll be on for a time. I don't know how long. It's non-specified time inshallah. I'll be on for a while inshallah. So please do get your relatives, brothers, sisters, sons, daughters, parents tuned in inshallah. We got another jam-packed, let me say this all in one breath, huh? We got another jam-packed, fun-packed, action-packed, marvelous, fabulous show. Try saying that, that's a tongue twister. Show for you. We got a wonderful show for you tonight, folks. So please do tune in soon after 8 p.m. tonight. So can you please repeat the dua? Yes, that's what I was going to do. Jazakumullah, sister or brother, for reminding me. The dua for today is Allahumma inni a'udhu bika min dhiqi dunya wa dhiqi yawmil qiyamah. Allahumma inni a'udhu bika min dhiqi dunya wa dhiqi yawmil qiyamah. Oh Allah, save me from the narrowness of this dunya, of this world, and the narrowness of the hereafter. That is today's daily dua, folks. Allahumma inni a'udhu bika min dhiqi dunya wa dhiqi yawmil qiyamah. If you're new to this show, don't try to write it down. And if you fail trying to write it down, that's not my fault. I did say record it, folks, and write it down afterwards. Okay. Somebody else says, Salam brother, please read this out for my mum. It's an Urdu poem. I will, dear sister, read this out definitely for your mother, but just give me a chance to go over it and then inshallah I'll come back to you, okay? So, because I don't want to make a mess of it, you know, it's like a tribute to your mother. I don't want to mess it up. Okay, so I will read that inshallah, but give me a chance, inshallah. Assalam, brother, my question, my name is Amina with ducks, number 19. So Jazakallah, the correct answer for number 19 came from Sister Amina. Jazakallah for that, sister. Sister Amina again says, brother Osman, please could you read the question out? No, sorry sister, because I read 10 questions out today and it's going to take up the rest of the show. Apologies for that. There's 10 questions I gave today. We're on 20 questions. In fact, some of them have been answered, so should I read all of them out again? Okay, go on then. For you, sister. Apologies for those of you who know the who already know the questions and the answers. But do text in if you know the answers to any of these questions. I'm going to repeat today's questions, not yesterday's. Okay, but if you know the answers to any of yesterday's unanswered questions, please do text in 07 417 498 681. 07 417 498 681 is the number to text us with your answers. Please do leave your names. Don't be shy, people. Today's questions are these. Question number 11. How many rakats are there in Eid namaz? Question number 12. Who was the first female martyr in Islam? First female to die as a martyr, as a shahida in Islam. Question number 13. In which direction did Prophet ﷺ face when he said his prayers when he was in Makkah before migrating to Medina? Which direction was he facing in? That's a nice easy one. Question number 14. Who was called Tahira amongst the mother of the believers? Okay, that's an adult question, I think a bit difficult, but all of us should know that answer. All of us adults at least should know that answer. Which wife of Rasulullah ﷺ was also known as Tahira? That was her title. What was her name is what I'm asking you. Question number 15. What do you understand by the term fidya? If I start talking about fidya, I'm going to give my fidya. What am I talking about? That's a difficult one. Okay. Question number 16. Where did the Prophet ﷺ consummate his marriage with Aisha radiallahu ta'ala anha, and when? Was the place, this town, the city, and when? Question number 17. The Prophet ﷺ prayed to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala to strengthen Islam by whose conversion? That's already been answered. So we already know the answer to that. The answer is Umar radiallahu ta'ala or Abu Jahl. Question number 18. When the Prophet ﷺ married Khadija radiallahu ta'ala, how old was he? How old was she? Okay, if you know the answers, folks, to any of these, queue with the question number and the answer and your name on 07 417 498 681. If you get a correct answer, you're very welcome to come down to the studio and pick up a prize. Question number 19. Which prayer does Salatul Jummah replace? That's been answered already. The answer was Zohar namaz replaces Jummah. Is replaced by Jummah namaz, sorry. Question number 20. Which important event took place on in the 8th year Hijrah, 8th year after the migration? Which important event took place? Okay, got a text in here. Ahmad Koya, brother Ahmad Koya, he answers question number 11. Let me flick back. Question number 11. How many rakats are there in Eid namaz? 2. Well done, Ahmad Koya. I hope you're a young kid. I hope you're not an adult sitting there feeling very happy with yourself. I got that right. Well, you should too. So Ahmad Koya, well done, fantastic, good answer. Come down to the studio and pick up your goodie, the goodie of your choice. Salam Sheikh, a joke you may have already heard, but here it goes. Okay, I'm not going to read that out, brother or sister. I will read that out, but let me let me check it first. Okay, not that I don't trust you. Question number 12 is who was the first female martyr in Islam? A texter says it was Hazrat Sumayya radiallahu ta'ala anha. Correct answer, well done, but you don't leave your name, but you are welcome to come down to the studio to pick up your prize. And somebody else texts in to say, I don't get this, sorry, I'm a bit slow. Sumayya penalty. Sumayya penalty. Sorry folks, don't understand code. You're gonna have to be a bit clearer. Okay, somebody else now, mashallah, text just come in. Question number 15. What do you understand by the term fidya? Oh, sorry, brother, you've got the name, sister, you've got the question wrong. Okay, it was question number 14, I think, is what you're referring to, not question number 15. Okay, question number 14, she answers. The question again was, who was called Tahira amongst the mothers of the believers, amongst the wives of Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam? Binte Ibrahim is what she calls herself, this lady who's replied, and she says the answer is Hazrat Khadija radiallahu ta'ala anha was known as Tahira. Fantastic, good answer, good answer. Binte Ibrahim, Binte Ibrahim, whoever you are, you can come down to the studio. Well done, good answer. It'd be interesting to know how old you are. If you're a young girl and you got that, then you can take a few prizes away. That's a fantastic answer. Tahira is the correct answer. Tahira was known as Khadija radiallahu ta'ala anha, sorry, was known as Tahira. Tahira meaning the chaste and the pure. So we can name our girls Tahira. Beautiful name. Oh, sorry. The person who texted in and said Sumayya penalty has just replied back and said fidya penalty. True, but that's a bit of like a not a very clear answer. Come on folks, you can give me more information than that. Fidya means a penalty. Okay, give me more information, brother. Answer it, don't answer it as concisely as that. Question number 18, somebody text in to say, question number 18, when the Prophet ﷺ got married to Hazrat Khadija radiallahu ta'ala anha, how old was he, how old was she? And this sister Amina replies, he was 25 years old, she was 40 years old. MashaAllah, good answer, sister Amina. I hope you're a young girl, because then that is a good answer. If you're an adult, no prizes for you, I'm afraid. But you can still come down and pick up a prize. Go on then. Ahmed Koya for question number 12. Okay, Jazakumullah. Ahmed Koya also got question number 12, right? Yeah, I did read out question 12 and the person didn't leave his name, so now he's sending us his name. He's saying it was me. It's question Ahmed Koya. So okay, Ahmed Koya, brother Ahmed Koya, if you can come down to the studio and you can pick up your prizes. Go on, I'll let you off. It's Christmas. No, it's not. It's go on. You mashallah, you've done well. Go on, you can pick up your prizes. And if you're a kid, I'd like to know how old you are. And if you are a kid, you can pick up a few. You can take a whole handful. Go on. Take CDs, books, whatever you want. So, brothers and sisters, we're coming to the end of the program, and another text lands and says, "Oh, Jazakallah, brother, Barakallah." Okay, so let's wrap up the program with a poem. This is a poem that I came across many years ago, and unfortunately today the Kazee conundrum has taken up the Dini dialect part of the show, and Dini dialect is very important, isn't it? What do I do? Do I move on or do I leave out the Dini dialect? Okay. Sorry, I'm thinking aloud, folks. The Kazee conundrum answers kind of threw me and put me out of sync. So we've only got about 10 minutes left, rather than the poem. Okay, the poem is a beautiful poem, but I'm going to read it out to you all, inshallah, tonight. So please do tune in soon after 8 p.m. and get your families and friends tuning in on 87.7 FM Radio Ihsaan. If you would like to text in with a request for a nasheed or anything, or if you've got a poem or something you want to send in, then please do text in or email us. If you've got a story, etc., something that you want me to read out, then I'll check it if it's good. If it's a poem that you've written yourself, I'll definitely read it out. Radio Ihsaan at gmail.com is the email. Radio Ihsaan, Ihsaan spelled IHSAAN at gmail.com. And if you want to text us, 07417 498 681. Jazakumullah for that. Rather than, so the poem, inshallah, I'm going to read out tonight, but I'm going to wrap up the program with the Dini dialect. I'm going to continue with some aspect of Deen, speaking about some aspect of Deen, but before that I'm going to play a short nasheed, because I've got to read the joke that the brother or sister sent in and the poem that the sister sent in for her mum. I'm going to read that, and then inshallah I'm going to read that out, and then a bit of Dini dialect coming up before I wrap the program up. So inshallah, don't go away, brothers and sisters. Sorry that this the program today was a bit disjointed, but mashallah, that's what happens when we get wonderful brothers and sisters like yourself joining in. And mashallah, it's good to have it a bit disjointed and a bit disorganized, and mashallah adds to their fun. That's a good excuse, isn't it? Listen to this nasheed, folks. Fantastic nasheed. Yes, that's right, brothers and sisters. Hamari manzil qabr hi hai. Our destination is the grave, so we need to be asking ourselves when we hear such kind of nasheeds and nazms, that what are we doing to prepare for that final destination of ours. May Allah Ta'ala give us all the tawfiq. Now, I've had a chance to read the poem that somebody sent in. Mashallah, fantastic poem. It's about the mother. And I think it's from a sister. I'm not going to read that poem out now, sister. I'll read it out tonight, because inshallah I'm going to base the evening Dini dialect on that poem, inshallah. So tonight I'll be on, as you know, soon after 8 p.m. So I'll read your poem out, inshallah. And it's about the mother, it's about the parents, rights of the parents. So inshallah, tonight's Dini dialect, I think it's poignant, and it's appropriate that we base it on the rights of parents, because it's a time of, it's a holiday time, people are at home and children at home, and so it's a good opportunity for us as a family, as families, to sit down and to reflect upon the rights of parents and to do some good for our parents. Okay, just before I go off air now, I'm going to read that punch. Do you hate it when somebody does that? Somebody says, I'm going to tell you a joke, and then they start laughing. And you're waiting for the joke and they're just laughing away. Do you just hate it when they do that? Isn't that a pet hate? My pet hate as well. That's exactly what I'm doing now. Sorry, apologies. It's a good one. Hang on, sorry, let me compose myself. Brother, sorry, Brother Amin sends in a joke. Brother Amin Saeed sends in a joke. Jazakallah for this, brother. He says, a joke you may have already heard, but here it goes. And I have heard this joke before, but it's funny every time. So here we go. And by the way, I did think, you know, should I read this out or not? Because you get all kinds of people out there listening to radio, and maybe some people may object. I know the ulama, this joke is about an alim. I know ulama won't object, because ulama, you know, they've got a good sense of humour. We know we're not taking mick out of our alims, our scholars, but if anybody does object, then I apologise in advance, and it's only a joke. We're not taking mick out of ulama kiram. Ulama kiram are the crowns of our head, you know, and without them we're not going to get into Jannat. So utmost respect, big up the ulama kiram out there, every single one of them. We love you all, we respect you. We don't respect you as we should, but Allah Ta'ala give us a tawfiq, and Allah Ta'ala reward every single one of you alims and alimas out there making an effort, mashallah. So this is a mick take for them. We're not taking the mick. Allahu Akbar, how could we take the mick out of ulama kiram? So this is just a joke, okay? Anyway, here comes the joke. इफ्तारी की दावत में मौलाना साहब एक आदमी के साथ बैठे थे. Why all these jokes of always about alims anyway? Every time there's a food joke, it's always about alims. People say मौलवी साहब बहुत खाते हैं. Well, not that. I've been in the company of a lot of alims, and they eat much less than us, you know, non-alim pods. Believe me, they do. They do. And but unfortunately खामोखा उनको बदनाम कर दिया. But anyway, this is a joke. इफ्तारी की दावत में मौलाना साहब एक आदमी के साथ बैठे थे. जब खाना आया तो ट्रे में चावल के साथ मुर्गी भी रखी गई थी. So Molana sitting in a dawat, and he was invited to an iftari dawat. He sat down, and when they brought the big plate or the tray, there was chicken and there was rice. But the way they put the tray down is that the rice was on the side of the Mauli Sahib, and the chicken legs were on the other side, on the side of the other guy sitting opposite him. So Maulana ने देखा कि मुर्गी उस आदमी की तरफ थी और चावल मौलाना की तरफ थी. मौलाना ने उस ट्रे को घुमाया और मुर्गी को अपनी तरफ कर लिया. So Maulana then what he did was he picked up the tray and he turned it round so that now the rice is on the other guy's side, and the chicken's on Mauli Sahib's side. So that guy was offended obviously, and he said, Maulana Sahib, ye aap kya kar rahe hai? What are you doing? So Maulana Sahib said, Bhai मुर्गी की टांगे किबला की तरफ थी. Boom boom. He said, Maulana Sahib, what are you doing? He said, the chicken's legs were facing Qibla, that's why I had to turn it around. Mullah Azizur Rahman, are you there? He's laughing as well. Sorry folks. Big shout out to Corleone Massive, whoever that is. Okay, I think that must be a posse, like, innit? We're the boys, innit? Yeah, we're cool, innit? That's our posse, innit? Corleone Massive, innit? Sorry. Great work at Radio Ihsaan, keep it up. Enough respect from Mickey. Enough respect to you, brother Mickey. And I hope that's not your proper name, huh? Enough respect to you and your Mastiff, innit? Your posse, all you brothers out there.
Shake your time, really up, yeah?
My time's up, yeah. I've got to go. So come on, let's tell me my time's up. I've got to go. Is somebody else coming in?
No, I'm just joking.
No, I've got to go anyway. Salams. Yasin Ismail wants to say, may Allah Ta'ala accept all the efforts of all the people who have and who will play a part in Radio Ihsaan, and may Allah make it a means of hidayat for the whole of the dunya, for the whole of the world. Ameen. And if you can you give a shout out and salam to all my family, Yasin Ismail Chana. Ameen. Brother Yasin and your whole family, Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. Allah Ta'ala bless you, Allah Ta'ala keep you forever flourishing and blossoming and happy in the dunya and the akhirat, and may Allah Ta'ala unite your whole family and keep you forever prospering. May Allah Ta'ala unite you all in Jannat again, inshallah Ta'ala. May Allah Ta'ala forgive all your marhumeen. If anyone is sick amongst you, may Allah Ta'ala give them shifa, and may Allah Ta'ala bless you and your whole family and the whole of the ummah. Ameen. Somebody else, come on, people, I gotta go home.
Them your show, yeah.
Huh?
Them tune in for your live show.
Yeah, I'm gonna be on again, folks, for tonight, inshallah. Soon after 8 p.m. Highway to Heaven with me, Usman Kazee. Soon after 8 p.m. So inshallah, please do tune in and get others tuning in as well. In another sister says, enlightening program. Love listening to you. Me? No. Or the radio station maybe. My son passed away 8 months ago. Been preparing for own death ever since. May Allah Ta'ala bless you all. Allahu Akbar. Yeah, my son passed away 8 months ago. Dear sister, Allahu Akbar. May Allah Ta'ala give you sabr. May Allah Ta'ala give you patience. May Allah Ta'ala give you strength. I mean, you're saying this, you're texting me 8 months on, so mashallah, that's testimony to your strength and to your sabr. May Allah Ta'ala keep you always strong. May Allah Ta'ala reward you. May Allah Ta'ala enter your son into Jannatul Firdaus. If you could text me, inshallah, and let me know how old your son was who passed away. May Allah Ta'ala elevate his status, and may Allah Ta'ala grant him the best of the akhirat, and may Allah Ta'ala give you the best badal. That's what we say in Arabic. Allahu yujzika bi badlin khayran minhum. May Allah Ta'ala give you the best badal. May Allah Ta'ala give you like a best substitute in place of your son, inshallah ta'ala. And with on that note, inshallah, I'm going to end the program. Dear respected listeners, I request you all to pray for that sister who just texted in, who lost her son 8 months ago, and inshallah in this manner pray for all the marhumeen who have left this world and all the suffering human beings who are suffering in the whole world. Inshallah, I will be back as a special treat or a special torment, however you see it, inshallah, soon after 8 p.m. tonight on the Highway to Heaven show. So please do tune in, and please do get others tuning in. Inshallah, it's going to be a fabulistic and marvelistic show. And if you've got any adjectives like that, a new modern day funky adjective, please do send it in, and inshallah if I use it on the show, you can come into the studio and pick up your prize. Jazakallah for listening. You've been a wonderful audience. Jazakallah for your participation, and inshallah I'll see you and I'll be with you again in your living rooms soon after 8 p.m. tonight. Jazakumullah. Allah bless you all.